Sat Gurubhyo Namaha. My pranams to my Paramaguru, Dr. Padma Subramaniam. We are very happy to have all of you here for the 17th session of the Young Researchers Forum. I am Aishwarya Harish, the Cultural Coordinator for Nrityodaya, the Academy of Performing Arts, Mumbai. The Young Researchers Forum is a joint initiative of Nrityodaya, the Academy of Performing Arts, Mumbai, and the Center for Excellence, Art and Culture, Shasun Jain College for Women, Chennai. Over the past few sessions, this forum has had topics covered on a number of different areas, and each presentation has been more vibrant and relevant with every young researcher coming in, the expert comments that we've received, and also the pertinent questions that have been asked by our audience members, taking every topic forward. It is an ongoing online initiative, and we really urge all those young researchers who are interested in presenting their work to kindly write into us at the tyrforum@gmail.com. We begin today's session on an auspicious note with the prayer being rendered by Ms. Shankari, a student of Srimati Suguna Bhattacharya.
அருள வேண்டும் தாயே, 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 அங்கையர் கண்ணினியே எனக்கருள வேண்டும் தாயே, அங்கையர் கண்ணினியே எனக்கருள வேண்டும் தாயே. பொருளும் புகழும் பொருந்தி வாழ, பொருளும் புகழும் பொருந்தி வாழ, பொருளும் புகழும் பொருந்தி வாழ, புவியில் நான் தலை சிறந்து வாழ, பொருளும் புகழும் பொருந்தி வாழ, புவியில் நான் தலை சிறந்து வாழ, அருள வேண்டும் தாயே, அங்கையர் கண்ணினியே எனக்கருள வேண்டும் தாயே. கலைகள் கற்கவும் கற்பனை செய்யவும், கலைகள் கற்கவும் கற்பனை செய்யவும், காலம் கடவாமல் கருத்தை திருத்தவும், உலகிலே நல்ல உண்மைகள் பேசவும், உலகிலே நல்ல உண்மைகள் பேசவும், உலகிலே நல்ல உண்மைகள் பேசவும், உன்னை நினைக்கவும் உறுதியாய் வாழவும், உலகிலே நல்ல உண்மைகள் பேசவும், உன்னை நினைக்கவும் உறுதியாய் வாழவும், அருள வேண்டும் தாயே, அங்கையர் கண்ணினியே எனக்கருள வேண்டும் தாயே.
Thank you so much for that wonderful rendition. I now call upon Dr. Jayashree Rajagopalan, Director, Nrityodaya, the Academy of Performing Arts, to kindly welcome our guests and our audience.
Om Sat Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaste. A very warm welcome to each one of you who has joined the 17th session of the Young Researchers Forum, initiated by our institution, Nrityodaya, the Academy of Performing Arts, Mumbai, and the Center of Excellence, Art and Culture, Shankarlal Sundarbai Shashun Jain College for Women, Chennai. We've been very blessed to have had our revered Guru, Padma Bhushan, Dr. Padma Subramaniam, flag off the series with an inspiring inaugural speech stressing the importance and need for research in Indic studies to reiterate the relevance of our ancient knowledge to strengthen our common Indian psyche. My humble namaskarams to dear Paduka and a very warm and hearty welcome to you. Today's young research scholar is Yogita V. Nagarajan, who will speak about Panchamarabu and its relevance to dance in particular. I welcome you, Yogita, to this forum. We are extremely grateful to Dr. M.S. Sarala, founder of Kalai Koil School of Dance, Karaikudi, for having accepted to share her expert comments on this subject. Thank you so much, Dr. Sarala, and a very warm welcome to you. We cherish those several performances that we have given together as Paduka students. I'm so happy to connect with you again in this forum. Thank you for joining us. Once again, thank you all for joining us on this session.
Thank you, Dr. Jayashree. I now invite Dr. Rajshri Vasudevan, Director, Center for Excellence, Art and Culture, to kindly introduce our guests for today.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. My pranams to the lineage of Gurus and to our dear Guru, revered Paduka, who has been blessing us from day one. And we're very happy, of course, to have Dr. M.S. Sarala, our expert, and Miss Yogita Nagarajan as our young researcher. It is said a teacher's influence never stops. It is till eternity. And it is evidence of that when we see Dr. Sarala carrying forward the work and the efforts of her teachers, many of whom are great experts in their own respective fields. To give a very brief introduction to her, she has a BA and MA in history from Madurai Kamaraj University, a PhD in dance from Annamalai University. Her gurus include Srimati T.K. Rajalakshmi, Srimati K.J. Sarasa, Padma Bhushan, Dr. Padma Subramaniam, Kuchipudi from Tirumati Vasanta Lakshmi Narasimhachari, snake dance from Sri Bhopal, learned inner intricacies of Bharatanatyam from K.N. Dandayatapani Pillai, Vaitishwaran Koil Muthuswami Pillai, Tirukokaranam Kalyana Sundaram Pillai, Abhinaya from Tirumati Gauri Ammal, and has a diploma in Carnatic music from Manamadurai Nagalakshmi. Her awards and achievements are many. She has a Kalimamani given by the government of Tamil Nadu, the Thalai Kolarivi, Bharatidasan Tamil Sangam Karaikudi, Silambisai Selvi, Mahasannidhanam Kovilur Adinam, Natana Shironmani, Tamil Music Club Karaikudi, Excellency Award, Rotary Club Karaikudi, Tamil Modi Shemmal, Tamil Sangam, Tiruchirappalli, Bharadakalai Shudar, Bharatidasan University, Lifestyle Achievement Award, Isai Vellalar Sangam, Tamil Nadu. Her achievements include, she has innovated a Varnam to the lyrics of Mudiyarasan and Shitrilakyam like Ammane, Pillai Tamil, Tirukural and Shilapadigaram. She has created and performed dance dramas like Silambil, Padinor Adalgal, Kambaramayana, Life Story of Karaikal Ammayar and Andal. Her publications include her thesis, History of Dance in Tamil Literature from Bharatidasan University, Tiruchirappalli, Basics of Bharatanatyam from Alagappa University, Art Fundamentals of Bharatanatyam, Introduction to Bharatanatyam, Alagappa Performing Arts Academy, Natyatin Alumai, Kalaikol Dance Academy. She has presented numerous papers in conferences and seminars. She's the advisory board member in the South Zone of ICCR, member of the management board and advisory board of CECRI, Kendriya Vidyalaya, Karaikudi, She's danced in many movies and performed in Malaysia, Singapore, Taiwan, Japan, Australia, and Greece. A warm welcome, Dr. M.S. Sarala, to our TYRF session, and we are looking forward to your expert comments. Coming to the young researcher, we have Mrs. Yogita Vinagarajan, who is a Bharatanatyam performer. In academics, she has an MA in history and an MFA from Shastra University, Tanjavur. She is pursuing her PhD under Guru Dr. Padma Subramaniam. Her gurus include Guru Pandanallur Shanmuga Sundaram Pillai, Guru Dr. Saraswati, Natyakala Acharya Guru Srimati Radha, Guru Dr. Padma Subramaniam for the past 6 years. She had her Arangetram at the age of 10. Her awards and achievements include Best Dancer, 1993 Indian Fine Arts Society, Chennai. She has choreographed and performed Venkata Krishna Sakhyam based on the compositions of Pootukadu Venkatakavi in India and USA. From 2019, she started a new style of presentation called as Pravachananatyam, in which she herself does the Pravachanam in Tamil and also performs dance. Her productions include Krishna Karnamritam, Kathamritam, Bhakta Namdev, Karaikal Ammayar, and Kannappa Nayanar. A warm welcome to you, Ms. Yogita, and we are looking forward to a very interesting presentation, which is going to be on Panchamarabu. Over to you now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Akka. Vanakkam, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. My namaskarams to Guru Dr. Padma Subramaniam, Guru Dr. Gayatri Kannan, Guru Dr. Jayashree Rajagopalan, Guru Dr. Rajshri Vasudevan, and today's expert, Kalaimamani Dr. M.S. Sarala. On the outset, I thank Nrityodaya, the Academy of Performing Arts, Mumbai, and Center of Excellence Art and Culture, Sri Shankarlal Sundarbai, Shasun Jain College for Women, Chennai, for giving me this opportunity. Today, I will be presenting a paper on the dance elements or aspects as seen in the Tamil work Panchamarabu, its author being Serai Arivanar. Tamil is the oldest of current spoken languages in Indian history. Scholars say that its history goes way beyond 3000 BCE. Sanga Kalam is the name given to this very old period. This is divided into three, namely Mudal Sangam, Idai Changam, and Kadai Changam, respectively, according to the time period. The works of Mudal Sangam are completely lost. Tolkapiyam, the oldest existing Tamil work until now, belongs to the Idai Changam or the second Sangam. This work is a complete text of Tamil grammar, or we can say Tamil life itself, which has a separate chapter in the name of Meipatiyal. The chapter speaks about Meipadu, the various aspects of Bhava and Abhinaya, bringing out Suvai or Rasa. The most important of Kadai Changam or the last Sangam works in music and dance are the Pattu Pattu. It is a group of 10 works. These belong to a specific kind of Tamil poetry named as Aatrupadai Noolgal. It speaks specifically about artists who went to kings to present their talent and getting gifts of honor. Aatrupaduthudal, meaning showing the way. One of them is Kuttaraatrupadai, or also called Malai Padugadam, which speaks about musicians and dancers of that period. There are many opinions and arguments regarding the time period of Panchamarabu. Before going into that, I have to tell you about the commentators Sri Deiva Shikamani Founder and Sri V.P.K. Sundaram. Both of them were our senior contemporaries. They both were very great Tamil scholars, but not dancers. Also, Kumbakonam Sri P. Sundaresanar should be remembered for his help to Deiva Shikamani Founder in bringing this work to print. The king Pandian Thirumaran is praised in different chapters in this work. Both commentators assumed he is Mudak Thirumaran, who lost a leg in a huge storm. He is believed to have lived at the end of Idai Changam and also kick-started the Kadai Changam. This is because of the line Odiyamalai Tennan Puyal Tanitha Dheera, which means to save the country from a huge storm, probably a tsunami. but this cannot be taken as a concrete information because Pandya kings in general are known as Tirumaran or Nedumaran. Also, there were multiple tsunamis which confined the Tamil land into a smaller area. Then we have the post-Sangam era or the Sangam Maruviya Kalam. Its time period widely accepted between 100 and 600 CE. During this period, the works mostly concentrated on the virtues and morals to be followed for the quality of life. That is why it is called Needi Nool Kalam. There is a small observation which I would like to share. Naal Adiyar, Naan Manikadigai, Paramuri Nanuru are a few works belonging to this period. They all have numbers in their names itself. Our Pancha Marabu also has a number in its name. Also, during Sangam period, the meters used were Ahavalpa or Ashiriyappa and also Kalippa. During Sangam Maruviya Kalam, Venba meter was widely used. Panchamarabu is also a work completely made of Venba. These observations will place this work in Sangam Maruviya Kalam or the post-Sangam era. Due to usage of Sanskrit words, some scholars put this work at a later period. But Tolkapiyam, the oldest available Tamil work today, has Sanskrit words like Nadakam. It says Natya Dharmi and Loka Dharmi as Nadaka Vazhakku and Ulahiyal Vazhakku. So both and Tamil and Sanskrit have started sharing words long back. Sri Kaundar, one of the commentators, says, after we lost Ahatyam, Perunarai and Perunkuruku, which were earlier the works of music and dance in dance grammar, some music and dance grammar in Tamil, Natya Shastra was accepted as the common text of dramaturgy, especially for music and dance in Tamil culture. I would like to quote Dr. Padma Subramaniam, who said that Panchamarabu is the oldest existing Tamil text on performing arts until now. Some scholars opine that one Kootanul written by Shatanar is the oldest text. But this doesn't sound true due to various reasons, like mentioning of Kathakali, which is a dance form only 400 to 500 years old. Also, Kootanul is quite similar in meter to Nannul, which is a Tamil grammar text of the 13th century. Later works have taken inspiration from the earlier ones in many ways. In areas pertaining to dance, Arivanar himself says he is following Bharata's footsteps in aspects of Nritta and Abhinaya. In one poem, he says, Kundravalli eva Uravan Arutpadan, Mandrariya Odum Vadanulil Nindra Niruttamudal Yerinayum, Nerthamizhal Kura Karuttudaya Aingarane Kapu. In accordance to Parvati's order.
Yogita,
Yes.
excuse me, Yogita. Will you be screen sharing now or is it later?
No, a little later.
Okay.
Yes. In accordance to Parvati's order, Shiva taught the world the 7 types of Nritta in Sanskrit. To teach the same in Tamil, I pray to Lord Vinayaka for success and safety, says Arivanar. See the acceptance of Sanskrit literature in Tamil land. Author has not just mentioned Bharata, but absolutely reproduced many areas as in Natya Shastra. Now let us see the various divisions in Panchamarabu. We are now actually going into the text now. Panchamarabu means 5 traditions. And right now I'll be sharing the screen. There are 5 major divisions in this book. They are Ishai, which are vocal and instrumental music, Muravu, percussion, Kootu, drama, which includes Nritta, Vinayam or Abhinaya, and finally Talam. First 2 chapters are specifically done for music, but there are a few important aspects in these chapters also. These give details like choreographing jatis in percussion and also in oral recitation for dance. One poem tells us about the way to sing for dance. So these chapters cannot be completely ignored. But moving on into the specific chapters of dance, which are Koorthu and Vinayam. Koorthu is usually a synonym for Nataka or Natya. They say Iyal Isai Natakam or Iyal Isai Koorthu. But let us not stubbornly keep that in mind, but just try to understand what this author has to tell us. In this division, the author has tried to codify both Marga and Deshi dance forms under one roof. He speaks about 7 types of Koorthu, which are Tandavam, Niruttam, Natyam, Kuravai, Vari, Kolam, and Vahai-Koorthu. Here itself, the confusion begins. In Natya Shastra, the Tandava Lakshana chapter has Nritta Karanas in them. So Tandava and Nritta are synonyms. Natya is the complete theatrical performance, which includes Nritta. But these 3 are treated as 3 different divisions. This actually makes us think that Panchamarabu may belong to a very late period, maybe around 13th or 14th century CE, because the understanding of Natya Shastra seems to have been lost. But let us just go on with what we have. In this, the first 3 subdivisions are Marga, and the next 4 are Deshi. Even the names, the first 3 are Sanskrit terms, while the next 4 are Tamil. Marga and Deshi are called Shanti Koorthu and Vinoda Koorthu, respectively, in Tamil. Both in the commentaries of Panchamarabu and Silappatikaram, it is given that part of Shanti Koorthu comprises of the 108 Karanas. The divisions 4, 5, 6, and 7 come under Deshi or Vinoda Koorthu. Of these, 4, 5, and 6 are group performances based on a theme, some performed by women and some by men. Kummi and Kolatam, present until today, or even the Ras Leela and Dandiya Ras of the North will fall under this category. These can be classified as a variation of Pindi Bandhas of Natya Shastra. Aichiyar Kuravai, performed by Madari, who took care of Kannagi in Madurai Kandam of Silappatikaram, is an example for Kuravai. The lines, which start as Vadavarayai Mattaki Vasuhiyai Nanaki, Kadal Vannan Pandorunal, Kadal Vairai Kalakkinaye, popularized by Bharat Ratna M.S. Subbalakshmi, have been taken from this Aichiyar Kuravai of Silappatikaram. The last one is called Vahai-Koorthu. Vahai meaning variety. 11 Vahai Adal fall under this category. To mention a few, Tudi, Kadayam, Mallu, Marakkal, Kudam, and it goes on. These are dance of victory of various gods like Krishna, Durga, Subramanya, etc. after destroying the evil. Then there is the subdivision of 16 Vahai Adalhal. 16 Vahai Tandavangal. To mention a few, Anu, Adi, Prakasham, Peetam, etc. The name itself tells that it is a byproduct of the Karana chapter, which is called Tandava Lakshana. How to perform these are not given. Only the talas in which these should be performed are spoken about in Panchamarabu. Now about the aspects from Natya Shastra, 2 types of charis, namely Bhuvichari and Andaramalu Agayachari, which are Bhucharis and Akashacharis, are just mentioned. List of names and how to perform them are not available. Names of the sthanas and padavedas are almost similar to those in Natya Shastra, except for minor variations. Names of Vattanai or Varuttanai, which are our Hastakaranas. The names given are Apavetitam, Upavetitam, Piyavartitam, Parivartitam, exactly as in Natya Shastra. Only they are Sanskritized Tamil terms. But the commentators have tried to interpret them in a very literal way. Parivartitam is taken as a Tamil word parivartanai and understood as a barter system in early days. Next, three more types of Deshi forms are given. They are Deshi, Vadugu, and Singalam. Deshi, also mentioned as Vinoda Kuthu earlier, is the name given to the local dance forms of Tamil Nadu. Many great scholars, including Sri Rama Deshika, who wrote the Bharata Kalai Kalanjiyam, a summary of all the chapters of Natya Shastra, has said that the local dance form of Tamil Nadu was called Deshi. Maybe the name Deshi for regional dance forms first originated in Tamil Nadu. Including the commentators of Panchamarabu and Shilapadikaram, the dance form Vadugu is misunderstood as Marga. But Dr. Padma, in her Natya Shastra National Unity, clearly states that the name Vadugu means dance form of Andhra. Vadugar means Telungar, that is people who speak the Telugu language. You can check in any Agaradi or Tamil dictionaries. It is clearly given Vadugar means Telungar. There is one more form, Singalam, which the name itself denotes that it belongs to the Sri Lanka area. Now, I move on to the next division, Vinayam or Avinayam or Abhinaya. In Vinayam, or the chapter dealing with Abhinaya, it mainly speaks of the Hastas. 33 in one-hand gestures and 15 two-hand gestures are given. Single-hand gestures or Vatrai Kai are divided into Aan Kai, Pen Kai, Alik Kai, and Podukkai, which are the Hastas for men, women, transgenders, and common for all the three. Nobody knows why it is divided this way, not yet. Two-hand gestures are divided into Yadir Kai and Thodir Kai. This means Hastas used in Nritta and Abhinaya respectively. Why is this division only for two-hand gestures? Maybe because Nritta Hastas are performed with both hands. But Nritta Hastas are not mentioned in Panchamarabu, with the exception of one or two, which are mentioned in the division of Abhinaya Hasta. I'll give a few examples from these two divisions, that is from Vatrai Kai or Asamyutta Hastas and Irattai Kai or Samyutta Hastas. The first one I'm going to take is Mutti in Vatrai Kai or our Mushti. I will read the Tamil definition given in Panchamarabu, and also the definition, of course, is given by the commentators taking it from some other work. The definitions are not given in Panchamarabu Moola in poems. Only the names are mentioned. So first I will read out the Tamil definition and I will read out the English translation also. Just for a few. நான்கு விரல்களையும் உள்ளங்கையில் வளைத்து அதன் மேல் கட்டை விரலை வளைத்தல். This is mutti or mushti. The English translation: if the ends of the fingers are kept close to the palm and the thumb is placed above them, it is termed mushti. The English translation I read is exactly as the Tamil definition. It is unbelievable to know that the Tamil definition is from the commentary of Panchamarabu and the English translation is the translation from Natya Shastra. So it is exactly the same for many. Also, some of the sutras in Tamil used by the commentators are very similar to the ones of Natya Shastra, but the Tamil authorship for these are unknown. Makara, a two-hand gesture in Natya Shastra, is seen in both one-hand and two-hand divisions in Panchamarabu. The definition in one-hand division makes it look like Chandrakala. This is Makara in one-hand Vatrai Kai. Shankar or Shanka, again a two-hand gesture is seen in both divisions. In one-hand division, its definition makes it look like Shikara Hasta, maybe because part of Shanka Hasta is Shikara. Pindi, a one-hand gesture, is similar to that of Mushti. This name is seen as a one-hand gesture alone. Pindi being one-hand gestures and Pinayal being two-hand gestures as seen in Adiyar Kannalarurai is not seen anywhere in the Moolam or the poems of Panchamarabu. Only the commentators have spoken about them taking the information from Shilapadigaram. Pindi looks like Mushti, grouping the fingers together, reminding us of the Pindi Bandhas. One other example is Iladai. This is Lata. In Tamil, this is Latai or Iladai. This comes under Dhritahastas in Natya Shastra. The definition in Panchamarabu makes it look like this Katakamuka. These are a few examples from Vattrai Kai. Now we move on to the Irattai Kai or the two-hand division. Anjali, just the same as in Natya Shastra. Makara in two-hand gesture, just the same as in Natya Shastra. Kataka Varuttanam, in Tamil it is Kataka Vardhamanaka of Natya Shastra. It's also the same. I just read out the definition. Irukai Manikattil Ondril Karudu Kataka Varuttanam Enba. This is a combination of two Katakamuka hands, one placed on top of another at the wrist. Again, the Tamil is from Panchamarabu and the English is from Natya Shastra. Finally, before concluding, I want to present a very short summary of one mini chapter called Kirambilakkanam in Panchamarabu. Kirambu, meaning staff or stick, plays a major role in Natya Shastra, Shilapadigaram and Panchamarabu. In Natya Shastra, the Dvaja Utsava or the flag festival of Indra is one major event where the flag staff is used to ward off evils and it becomes the Jarjara. Also later, with the power of Vajra, it is used to destroy evil forces. It is then strengthened with various gods, Brahma, Shiva, Vishnu, Skanda and Naga Devatas residing in its 5 divisions. Kirambu mentioned in Panchamarabu is also supposed to have the strength of the residing gods Brahma, Vishnu and different forms of Shiva, just like in Natya Shastra. It is used not only in teaching but also used as a tala instrument in performances. In Shilapadigaram also, Dandiyam is mentioned in the learning of Madhavi's dance with her Ashiriyan or Guru. All the above points have proven that Panchamarabu is the complete text on performing arts. Lots of information in this work must have gotten lost. There has been only one manuscript available until today, for which we should be really grateful to Sri Deiva Shikamani Kaundar. Pollachi Sri N. Mahalingam was the energy behind both commentators to bring this work to print. I feel honored to have presented this great work before you all under the guidance of my Guru, Dr. Padma Subramanian. Once again, I thank Dr. Jayashree and Dr. Rajshri for this opportunity. Vanakkam.
Thank you so much, Yogita, for that crisp presentation and some of the slides which you put as a PPT. I now request our expert, Dr. Sarala, to please give her inputs and whatever else she would like to add to the presentation. Dr. Sarala.
Guruve today. Good evening, Gunanda. First of all, I must thank my beloved Guru. இதனை இதனால் இவன் முடிக்கும் என்றாய்ந்து அதனை அவன் கண் விடல். This is the Tirukural. According to the Quran, my Guru Dr. Padma Subramanian, who suggested me in the series of the Young Research Forum for today's topic, I thank the principal of Vidyodaya Bombay, Mrs. Jayashree Rajagopalan, and Center for Excellence Art and Culture, Sasum College, Chennai, and Cultural Coordinator Aishwarya, and our dear friend Rajshri. Panchamarabu is a very ancient textbook. Before Shilapadigaram, that only Panchamarabu is very ancient book, textbook. The author, Harivana, he himself written the book, everything. Not Kekliya, Kekarda,
Yes, Dr. Sarlak, if you can just keep the mic a little closer, I think probably we'll be able to hear you better. The voice is breaking a little.
Here is some internet problem also here. Maybe.
No, now we can hear. Now we can hear. Thank you.
So, Sere Arivanaar செய்து அமைத்த ஐந்தொகை. From the beginning itself, he written like this. He himself wrote the book. Not is a collection of some authors. No, it's not a collection. He himself wrote the book. That's why Sere Arivanaar செய்து அமைந்த ஐந்தொகை. So, in this text, he elaborates the 5 elements: music, dance, abhinaya, and in the instruments, kuttu, the dramas and everything. But every chapters, we must thank God. We can got the book as it is. In between, in everywhere, some of the older textbook, இடைச்செருகல்னு சொல்லுவாங்க தமிழ்ல. இன்டர்கலபரேஷன் சொல்லுவாங்க, அது பேரு இடைச்செருகல்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. In this book also, some இடைச்செருகல் is there. According to the row numbers, this is 207 poems. Venbakad. Poem here is the poem called Venba. So 207 Venbas. The first part finished 123 itself. Again, the second part, it's according to continue from 124, 125 like that. But again, they are telling the 123, 124. These 2 Venbas are this Idechal. Because every in Silappadigaram also some Idechal. In the Bharatanatyam Shastram also some Idechal is there. If you keep watching that, if you analyze that book, you can find out that Idechal. We we avoid that Idechal according to that Panchamarabu. So many nice music and dance and the thala everywhere is there. One of that, Tandava Vagai, Tandava, it's called 16. They are also mentioned according to our scholar expressed all those things. Chari, Bhumi Chari, and Agachari. Agachari means Andarachari. And postures also. Postures also 5. Padam, Pada Vedangal, 5. Then Otrekai, 33. Iratekai, 15. And addition to that, Ankai, Alinkai, Penkai, Podutkai. So, we have so many things little similar to Silappadigaram. Tirucheri Arivanaar is the Arivanaar is from somebody telling he is from Madura district. Somebody telling he is from Tanjore district, because Tirucheri is in Tanjore also. In Chetur becomes with Marivi Varudun Solvang, Alam Marivi and the pair Marudun Solvang. It may be called in the Chetur is Chere in Madurai district. Ippukuda Madurai district Chetur irukku. In this period of King Mudat Thirumaran time, this book was written by Arivanaar. கார்மேனி செங்கட் கடவுளை யான் பணிந்து பார்மேல் மிக விளங்க பல்விதத்தால். கார்மேனி செங்கட் கடவுளை திருமால். And பார்மேல் மிக விளங்க is according to the world, all the world. சீர்மேவும் மூவிசையும், the third thing, வங்கியம், யாழ் and தாளம், இசை, the முழவு. மூவிசையும் தோளும் உயர் கூத்தும் தாளமும் பாவிசையும் கண்டமரபு. பாவிசை means here கண்டமரபு is a vocal culture, voice cultures. ஓதுவன் இப்பண்பு. இது எல்லாத்தையும் நான் இப்ப சொல்றேன். மால்பாடும் பாட்டினையும் வார்சடையும் கூத்தினையும் மேலாய நான்முகன் செய் பாணியையும். மால்பாடும் பாட்டினையும், மால்பாடு means திருமால்ஸ், வார்சடையோன் கூத்தினையும் is நடராஜா, it's a dance. மேலைய நான்முகன் செய் பாணியும். நான்முகன் here is the god of தாளா. நான்முகன் சால என் புவி கவியும் சான்றோர் பால் முற்புடைத்தாய். இது நான் அப்போலாம் எப்படின்னு கேட்டா, on those days the book was written by any author, he has to submit to the scholars, all the scholars. They must appreciate and agree all the things, then only the text will be come to the public. இப்போலாம் நம்ம அரங்கேற்றோம்னு சொல்றேன், அது மாதிரி அந்த காலத்துல அப்பவே இருந்திருக்கு. அவெல்லாம் சேர்ந்து சொன்னதுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் இது வர முடியும். சோ பஞ்சமர்ம இஸ் வெரி ஏன்ஷியன்ட் நான் சொல்றதுக்கு காரணம், மியூசிக் அண்ட் டான்ஸ், டான்ஸோட மியூசிக் ஜாஸ்தி. இதுல மியூசிக் அண்ட் தாளம் அண்ட் யாழ் மரபு, வீணை. So many yards he is telling about the yard, pangal, how is we can choose the pan for the yard according to the yard. In the yard in the panda vasikka mudiyum, according to the yard we can play only this pan. So we can choose the veena, that means yard, and then we can play the pan. பண் இங்கிருந்து ராகம். அது மாதிரி நிறைய மியூசிக் பத்தி நிறைய சொல்லி அக்கார்டிங் டு த பஞ்சமரபு. டான்ஸ் மியூசிக் இஸ் ஜாஸ்தியா சொல்லியிருக்கு, மியூசிக் பத்தி தான் ஜாஸ்தி. அண்ட் தாளம். அண்ட் தென் பஞ்சமரபு இஸ் a very ancient நான் சொல்றதுக்கு காரணம், before 2000 years, பஞ்சமரபுக்கு முன்னாடி 2000 years before itself, music and dance is there. Then only பஞ்சமரபு can return. எதுவுமே இன்னைக்கு பார்த்து நாளைக்கு செய்ய முடியாது. So we must understand this is very ancient culture. Our culture is music and dance is very ancient. Nobody can deny this. சிலம்பின் மூன்றாவது காதையில் இசை பற்றிய குறிப்பு பாடல்கள் உள்ளது. That means அரங்கேற்று காதை. அரங்கேற்று காதையில then கடலாடு காதையில, then கடலாடு காதை, then ஆய்ச்சியல் குறவை. ஆய்ச்சியல் குறவை you can see the யாழ், குழல், same thing. These all from refer from பஞ்சமரபு. பஞ்சமரபு பார்த்து this is definite. This period, somebody telling this period before the last period of Idaichangam and the first period of Kadaichangam. In between, this book was written in Solran. Maybe. இந்த ஒவ்வொரு யாழும் ஒவ்வொரு இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட்ஸும் how it makes, in which wood, how it's prepared, precautions are there. What are the precautions to make this wood, to make a yard and everything? This is the type. But in dance we can see only the poems, not definitions. But in Natya Sastra, we can see the definitions. In Adiyar Kannar, we can see the definitions. But in Panchamarabu, we can't see the definitions, but something he is telling, Vipaka is telling something. Yogita Chonamadri, Vipaka doesn't know dance. I know personally Vipaka. அவர்தான் என்னுடைய புக்குக்கு முகவரை எழுதினதே அவர்தான். அப்ரிசியேஷன்ஸ் லெட்டர் கொடுத்ததே அவர்தான். I know Vipaka. He is well-known author in a scholar in music and Tala, not in dance. So we must sit. We must collect the group. According to the Panchamarapu, we must collect the group from Tala expert, from Yard expert, from dance expert, from music expert, the vocal expert. எல்லாரும் சேர்ந்து கூடி we can research the book Panchamarapu. Then only we can finalize everything. Because அவங்க ஒன்று சொன்னாங்க, இவங்க ஒன்று சொன்னாங்க அப்படிங்கிறது இல்லாம, and then this is the இடைச்சல்கள், that also we can avoid it. This is my humble opinion. And in Panchamarapu, everybody can research in each part. யாழ் தனியா பண்ணலாம், மத்தாளம் தனியா பண்ணலாம், வாய்ஸ் கல்ச்சர் தனியா பண்ணலாம். You can do it yourself. This is different way. There are so many things in this. நமக்கு ஒரு மூலம் கிடைச்சது. This is a என்ன சொல்றது, அதை வந்து கரெக்டா நமக்கு ஒரு கருப்பொருள் கிடைச்சது. This is a fine, அதை நம்ம ஃபைன் டியூன் பண்ணி, we can fine tune and then research பண்ணி, then we can finalize what is this, what is this. Then only we can enjoy the full text. And then Arivanar ஒன்னு சொல்றாரு அவர், in Panchamarapu, in the last part, all the elements, all the Panchamarapu, all the 5 chapters are very useful to others, useful to the audience, useful to the Kala Rasikas. Appo you can imagine, on those days everybody can enjoy the music, dance, instruments and everything. They are very expert in everything. That's why they are telling the marabus like this. Another thing, in Tamil words, some difficulty is there. Varam, example is varam means, if it's a word is one, but it will giving some too many definitions. Varam is a song, Vara Padal, and then Varam is Nadai. Nadai means Gati. Chadusra Nadai, நம்ம சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா, Chadusra Nadai. So we can finalize only where it is coming, what is the situation to begin. சினிமாவுக்கு பாட்டு எழுதுற மாதிரி தான், எல்லாம் சொல்லிட்டா பாட்டு எழுதுவாரு, அது மாதிரி எந்த இடத்துல அந்த வாரம் யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம், in which way he is telling, in which occasion he is telling this word varam. இது மாதிரி I am giving only one example. This is an example. இது மாதிரி in Tamil so many words are there. So we can finalize the situations and the songs, and then we can show the abhinaya and whatever maybe the thala ever can. ஏன்னா வாரம் இருந்த கை கூடை கலைதலும், கூடை means another thing, another element, because everything is different and the word is same. This is the difficult in Tamil and on those days, but they are very used to that, and those people at that time very used to that. அவங்களுக்கு புரிஞ்சிருக்கு, இதுக்கு தான் இந்த இடத்துல வாரம்னு சொல்றா, இதுக்கு தான் இந்த இடத்துல வாரம்னு சொல்றா. But nowadays we can't understand, we can get confused, அதுல கொஞ்சம் கன்ஃபியூஸ் வரத்தான் செய்யும். தட்ஸ் வை ஐம் டெல்லிங், ஐ எம் ரெக்வெஸ்டிங் தி ஆர்கனைசர்ஸ். இது ரொம்ப நல்ல ஒரு அருமையான ஒரு ஆர்கனைஸ் விஜியோட ஆர்கனைசேஷன் எனக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிச்சிருக்கு. பிகாஸ் ஸ்காலர்ஸ் கேன் இம்ப்ரூவ் themselves. And then in our Nrityodaya method, this is Nrityodaya method. That's why I'm appreciating Viji first. Because Madhuka அப்பவே சொல்லுவா, research mind வேணும். Dancers, baby, whomever dancers or music scholars, யாரா இருக்கட்டும், you must research. ஒரு கோயிலுக்கு போனேன்னா go and see the temple first and then God. Then you go around the temple. What is there? What is that? எங்களை மாதிரி கூட்டிட்டு போய் நிறைய காமிச்சிருக்காங்க. அந்த ரிசர்ச் மைண்ட் எங்களுக்கு வளர்த்து விட்டாங்க. அது மாதிரி யூ கேன் ஆர்கனைஸ் சம் குரூப் அபவுட் த டெக்ஸ்ட். ஒரு டெக்ஸ்ட் இன்னைக்கு பஞ்சமரம், திஸ் இஸ் த பஞ்சமரம் புக். ஹூஸ் வில்லிங், யார் யார் வரணும்னு இஷ்டப்படுறாளோ அவளை எல்லாம் கூப்பிட்டு உட்கார வச்சு எல்லாம் ஃபைனலைஸ் பண்ணனாதான் இன் ஃபியூச்சர் scholars can understand very easily about the Tamil and the culture. ஏன்னா அந்த கல்ச்சரையும் தமிழையும் on those days ஒரே லைன்ல கொண்டு போயிட்டா. This is the problem. ஏன்னா அப்படியே this is the they are used to that. அதுதான் சொல்லணும், they are very used to that. வேற வழியே கிடையாது. அவளுக்கு வந்து அன்னைக்கு இருக்கிற பீப்புளுக்கு இன்னைக்கு நம்ம பேசினா புரியவோ புரியாது இந்த தமிழ். அப்போ இருக்கிற தமிழ் இஸ் டிஃப்ரெண்ட். அதுதான் என்னோட வாத்தியார் எல்லாம் சொல்றாங்க, தமிழ் வாத்தியார் எல்லாம் அவங்க கிட்ட படிக்கும் போதுதான் எனக்கு இந்த செய்யுட்கள் எல்லாம், ஐ மீன் வெண்பாஸ் ஆர் வெரி ஈஸி டு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட். கார்மேனி செங்கட் கடவுளை யான் பணிந்து, நான் இப்ப சொல்றச்சே உங்களுக்கு எல்லாருக்குமே புரிஞ்சிருக்கு. பிகாஸ் ஐ செப்பரேட் த வேர்ட், பதம் பிரிச்சு பொருள் சொல்றேன், பாடுறேன், சொல்றேன். That's why you can understand very well. கார்மேனி செங்கட் கடவுளை யான் பணிந்து பார்மேல் மிக விளங்க பல்விதத்தால் in different ways சீர்மேவு மூவி செய்யும். 3 elements of music. Then தோலும் மத்தளம் முழவு, உயர் கூத்தும் is a dramatical way, தாள and தாளமும், and பாவிசை வாச்சிக்கம், வாயில பேசுற அந்த பாடுறது, டைலாக்ஸ் and everything. ஓதுவன் and telling. This is the method. பண்பு means method. In what is, because I must again I am telling, we must add in the group Tamil scholars first, because they only know the word on those days and nowadays. This is different. This is the difficult to understand the Tamil. இப்போ பண்ற தமிழே இல்ல, இதெல்லாம் தமிழே கிடையாது. அப்ப பேசினது செந்தமிழ் லிட்ரேச்சர் இஸ் வெரி டிஃபிகல்ட். இங்கிலீஷ் லிட்ரேச்சர் இஸ் வெரி டிஃபிகல்ட்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. நோ, நெவர். எவ்ரிபடி கேன் டூ இங்கிலீஷ் லிட்ரேச்சர். பைஹார்ட் பண்ணாலே போறோம், வந்துடும். ஒத்தல்ல டிராமாவா இருக்கட்டும், எதுவா பண்ணிடலாம். பட் இன் தமிழ் லிட்ரேச்சர் யூ கான்ட் டூ இட். அத்தனையும் பண்ணிடலாம். தட் இஸ் வை சிலப்பதிகாரம், we are telling the சிலப்பதிகாரம் is very nice dance drama. 50 காப்பியங்கள்ல ஏன் சிலப்பதிகாரம் மட்டும் நிக்கிறது இன்னைக்கு? ஏன்னா அதுல டான்ஸ், டயலாக், மியூசிக் அண்ட் ஸ்டோரி அண்ட் என்ன சொல்லுவா, நீதி நூல் காலம்னு சொன்னா, நீதி காலம்னு சொன்னா, அதுவும் இருந்தது. எல்லாமே அது அடங்கினதுனாலதான் சிலப்பதிகாரம் இன்னைக்கு உயர்வா பேசப்படும். அதே மாதிரி அதுக்கு மிஞ்சினது பிஃபோர் தட் மஞ்சபுரம். சோ மஞ்சபுரமுக்கு முன்னாடி இருந்தாலே ஒழிய டான்ஸ் அண்ட் மியூசிக் யூ கான்ட் டேக் பஞ்சபுரம். சோ பிஃபோர் 2000 years, கண்டிப்பா 2000 years, நோ டவுட். அதுல பண்ணினதுனாலதான் சேனை அறிவினார். Okay, and then now this is I am very appreciate Yogita. You collected all the dance materials from the Panjamarabu. ஆனா நான் இன்னும் சொல்றேன், பஞ்சமரபுல டான்ஸுக்கு கம்மி. ஆக்சுவலா they are telling about music and யாழ் and வங்கியம். வங்கியம் means flute, ஃப்ளூட்ல எந்தெந்த தொலை எவ்வளவு இருக்கணும், எத்தனை அகலம் இருக்கணும், எந்த மூங்கில் எடுக்கணும், எந்த பேம்பு இஸ் வெரி குட் ஃபார் த play for the flute, the music, வங்கி இசை. So it's very difficult. நான் வந்து I don't know about the only telling going to tell the dance. I collect all the things. பஞ்சமரபு பஞ்சமரபு சொல்ல போறானா அப்புறம் பேசிக் எல்லாத்தையும் சொல்லுவாளா கூட்டாச்சு. Okay, dance is very good. Yeah, I appreciate it. But in the same way, please Viji, you can choose all the in Panjamarabus, all the chapters, not only dance, because everybody are waiting for the music. How is the music coming? How is the instruments is making the instruments? How is the thala? Thala is very difficult. We can understand the thala from Deepaka Sundaram book. He is very expert in thala. I know. He is expert in music also. But he doesn't know dance. I know. Because நான் முதல்ல அவர்கிட்ட குறைச்சு என்னம்மா எனக்கு டான்ஸ் பத்தி தெரியாதே, அதுக்கு எழுத சொல்றேன்னு கேட்டேன். இல்ல நான் பண்ணினது சிலப்பதிகாரத்தை பத்தி. சோ நீங்க புக்கை படிச்சுட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் நீங்க எழுதி கொடுத்தேன். அதை பார்த்துட்டு தான் அப்புறம் எனக்கு பாரதிதாசன் யூனிவர்சிட்டி அந்த புக்ல எனக்கு வந்து முதல்ல அவர் வந்து கருத்து எழுதி அப்ரிசியேஷன் லெட்டர் கொடுத்தார். ஸோ ஐ தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச் விஜி. நான் டைம் ரொம்ப எடுத்துட்டேன்னா தேங்க்யூ ராஜி. ஐ தேங்க்யூ யோகிதா. வெல்செட் ரொம்ப நல்லா பண்ணீங்க, ரொம்ப நல்லா அழகா பண்ணி ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணீங்க. தேங்க்யூ விஜி ஃபார் த ஒண்டர்ஃபுல் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி டு திஸ். உங்களோட எல்லாம் பாக்குறதுக்கு முதல்ல உங்களை எல்லாம் பார்த்து ரொம்ப நாளாச்சு. எல்லாம் பார்க்கறதுக்கு ஐ எம் வெரி மச் ஐ எம் வெரி என்ஜாய் திஸ் ப்ரோக்ராம். அண்ட் தென் கொஞ்சம் யோசனை பண்ணி பாருங்க இதெல்லாம் பண்ணலாமான்னு. என்னால என்ன பண்ண முடியும்? ஐ கேன் ஹெல்ப் யூ இன் whichever way I can help you. இதெல்லாம் நான் பண்ண முடியும்னா பண்றேன். பிகாஸ் இது வந்து பத்துக்காட்ட கொஸ்டினை கூட எதை சொல்லுவான், இது பண்ணணும். இதெல்லாம் நம்ம காலத்திலேயே பண்ணிட்டா இந்த வர யங்ஸ்டர்ஸ் பி வெரி ஈஸி. அவளுக்கு இதெல்லாம் ரொம்ப சொல்லி புரிய வைக்கிற அவசியமே சொன்னா இல்லையா? இங்கிலீஷ்ல சொன்னா, தமிழ்ல சொன்னா, அது எப்படி எப்படி இருக்கும்னு அந்த முதிரையெல்லாம் பிடிச்சி காமிச்சா ஓகே. அண்ட் தென் வி கேன் கம் டு த கம்பேரிசன். சிலப்பதிகாரத்துக்கும் பஞ்சமரப்புக்கும் வாட் இஸ் த கம்பேரிசன்? ஆஃப்டர் தட், பட் வாட் இஸ் இன் பஞ்சமரம், வாட் இஸ் இன் சிலப்பதிகாரம்? We must sit and all the scholars sit and then we must finalize the text. That is the thing I want. This is a request. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sarala, for the wonderful session that you gave us. Yogita had taken this aspect particularly for dance elements, and so she did not touch upon the other things, and you elaborated on the music aspect, so we were very happy to hear you, and thank you for the appreciation that you gave to us for this organizing this forum. I will ask Dr. Rajshri to take over to present the questions.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sarala, as also Yogita. It was a very interesting and a very different session, I think, from what we have been doing so far, because there has been a wide variety, and I'm sure this has kindled the interest of many of those who are listening in. In fact, some of our students and viewers have sent in some questions, so I will ask them depending on the time. There are two questions, I think, which has been asked for the researcher to Mrs. Yogita. She can answer either both together or one after the other. One is there any specific reason as to why you wanted to show the differences and similarities between Panchamarabu and Natya Shastra? That is one question. And another question as to how do you think the movements mentioned in the Panchamarabu as also the Hastas have evolved over time till what they have become today? So two questions for Mrs. Yogita. So if you can answer, and Dr. Sarala can add to it as she goes. Thank you.
Yes, Panchamarabu actually was introduced to me during my MFA with Dr. Paduka. So we had read about a few Tamil works during in our syllabus during our MFA period, and that actually kindled my interest in taking up Panchamarabu for the research work. I am actually more well versed in Tamil than Sanskrit. Sanskrit I can read and write, but my exposure to Sanskrit is comparatively less to compared to Tamil. So I prefer to taking up a Tamil work for my research. And as I said, lot of aspects in dance in Panchamarabu must have gotten lost. As Dr. Sarala said, only the names are available. How to perform them and other definitions, their usages and all are not seen. And one more thing is, I could see all the Abhinaya Hastas, especially in Panchamarabu, are very close to Nati Shastra only. Because now the widely used text Abhinaya Darpana, similarities to Abhinaya Darpana is very less. That shows that Panchamarabu is definitely older text than Abhinaya Darpana. And there may be similarities to texts of I'm not sure about the time period of Panchamarabu, but Dr. Sarala clearly said that it is a very, very old text. So some of the hastas I thought may have been taken from Sangeeta Ratnakara or Nrita Ratnavali, maybe, because I don't have deep knowledge in those texts. I thought so because those are texts which have spoken about Deshi hastas, Deshi Karanas, Deshi Charis and all. So some of the hastas may have been a Deshi variety of the earlier mentioned hastas of Nati Shastra. Is that it? Anything else?
Yes, there is one question on the prayoga, whether we still have the prayoga of those movements as they were done at that time, mentioned in the text. Do we still do it in the present day?
That is of Panchamarabu?
Yes, yes.
No, I think prayoga is not there because Panchamarabu was introduced to us through Shilapadigaram, I should say, because Adiyarth Nallar has used many older texts to explain many aspects of Shilapadigaram, and most important of them was Panchamarabu. The Chuvadi, Vole Chuvadi, or the manuscript was found by Sri Devasigamani Kaundar. It was brought to print. The first half was brought to print in 1973, and both the parts, first and second part, have brought to print to around 1975 only. So I don't think it is in practice right now, but we can definitely try after some time. Like Dr. Sarala said, first we have to clearly understand all the aspects of Panchamarabu, and we can definitely try to put them in practice. But right now, no. Some of the hastas which are already existing in Nati Shastra are in practice, but rest of them need to be understood, and then only we should put them to practice.
There is one question on music specifically for Dr. Sarala. That is, how were the puns and swara patterns classified in Panchamarabu?
You can't explain Rajiv today because this is we are lost, because every pun should be in which way, in which time, this kalam and adanudaya kramam kriyai athanayum ovvoru pannukum solli. This is very difficult to explain in this session. அது தனியா வேணா ஒரு நாளைக்கு வச்சு, ஏன்னா this is vast. நீங்க பஞ்சபரப்பு பார்த்தேன்னா மியூசிக் அண்ட் வாய்ஸ் கல்ச்சர், ஹவு டு மாடரேட் த வாய்ஸ். இப்ப எல்லாம் சொல்றாளே, எல்லா சூப்பர் சிங்கர்ல எல்லாம் வாய்ஸ் கல்ச்சர் அப்பவே வந்தாச்சு. அதெல்லாம் நாட் நவ். வாய்ஸ் கல்ச்சர் இஸ் பிஃபோர் இட்செல்ஃப். ஏதோ மாமாங்கமா இதெல்லாம் முன்னாடி வந்தாச்சு. How is the voice culture should be? We have to train the voice, and then the வாத்தியங்கள், instruments, and the pun, the voice in the pun எப்படி இருக்கும், இந்த கனமான வாய்ஸ்ல இந்த பண் பாடினா எப்படி வரும், everything is there. ஒவ்வொரு பண்ணுக்கும் ஒவ்வொரு இதுக்கும் ஒவ்வொரு சுரங்கள், அந்த அவ சொல்ற மாதிரி ஆய்ச்சல் குழையல் சொன்ன மாதிரி விடரி குத்தம் கிளை அத்தனைக்கும் they are giving nice definitions in music with dance விட music கொஞ்சம் definitions ஜாஸ்தி in Punjab. That is the thing I'm telling. So we can sit and analyze the Panjabarabu only in music or only in instruments. We have one I think chapter. We have to analyze one chapter, each chapter in each day. That is very vast.
There is one point that you had made, that every yard was for a particular pun. That means
Yes.
it was set completely in that swara pattern, that
Yes,
yard.
Swara pattern.
So
And this string also made like that. The strings also like that. Sakota yard, Vedi yard, Siri yard. This is different yards. Not only our Vida.
so each
This is
raga
different.
had, okay, each raga had one yard or veena, as you
Yeah.
said.
How many you can analyze how many ragas in this yard can play. அப்படின்னு வரையறுத்துட்டா இதுதான் பண்ண முடியும். This because some notes are very high, some notes are very low. The pitch is very high and low. அது சில கமகங்கள் கொடுக்கறச்சே சில கமகங்கள் கீழே வரும். You can't play in this yard. So அது மாதிரி they can definition பண்ணிட்டா, அதுக்கே இந்த வரையறை பண்ணிட்டா, இந்த யாழ் இப்படி இருக்கணும், இந்த யாழ் இப்படி. You can play these puns are in this yard. You can play the another puns are in this yard. So they can என்ன சொல்றது, வரையறை பண்ணிட்டா, சற்ற இவ்வளவுதான் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி பண்ணி வச்சிருக்காங்க. அதுக்கு மேல பண்ணா it may be it's come அவசரம், அது கேட்கவே முடியாது, அப்படி வந்துரும்.
There is one question connected with this itself. அது வந்து ராசி சக்கரம் அண்ட் மியூசிக் பத்தி மென்ஷன் பண்றார். பிரீஃபா ஏதாவது அதை பத்தி சொல்ல முடியுமா?
ராசி சக்கரம் வந்து நிறைய படிக்கணும், அதுல நானே இவ்வளவுதான் படிச்சிருக்கேன். அதுல மியூசிக்ல எனக்கு வந்து ஐ எம் நாட் இன்ட்ரெஸ்டட் சோ மச் இன்வால்வ் இன் மியூசிக். ஆனா பட் ஐ மஸ்ட் கிளியர் வாட் இஸ் தேட், அதுதான் தெரியுமா. அதை பாடி பார்த்து அதை வாசிச்சு பார்த்து, ஏன்னா இப்போ if you are a veena player, you can play it. This pun is here, this pun is that. ஏன்னா இப்போ nowadays veena is a different method. We are teaching different method in this. இப்போ இருக்கிற வீணையில வந்து நமக்கு வேற மாதிரி தான் சொல்லி கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. அப்ப இருக்கிற மாதிரி அந்த பர்டிகுலர் இது கிடையாது. நம்ம in our dance itself விஜய்க்கு தெரியும், if a student is very மோட்டா குண்டா இருந்தாருன்னா we can't teach some more karanas for that girl, isn't it? Is Vijay? According to the figure, we can show we can teach we can put the karanas to that girl, isn't it? அப்படிதானே வைப்போம். ஏன்னா sometimes it may be very awkward. அவ ஒரு ஏதாவது ஒரு லீனமோ ஒரு உத்வாசமோ ஏதோ ஒன்று பண்ணினான்னா அசிங்கமா அவ திரும்பிட்டான்னா அசிங்கமா போயிடும். It may be very awkward. அது மாதிரி they'll analyze the veena and then according to the strings, and then they are finalize the pun and finalize the swaras according to that yard. Yard means the veena.
There is I think one last question which has come in. That is, if Panchamarabu is unique to the Tamil land, it's sort of a textbook, just like the Natya Shastra. Can we say that the Deshi dance form of Tamil Nadu, that is Bharatanatyam, is based on it? If not, then why not?
அதுவும் சொல்லலாம், தப்பு இல்லை, அதுவும் சொல்லலாம். தேசி ரெண்டும் சொல்லலாம், இது ரெண்டையுமே வச்சுக்கலாம். ரெண்டுக்குமே நம்ம see the textbook in everywhere. We can see the textbook. நமக்கு என்ன இருக்கோ அதை தானே நம்ம தேடுவோம். வடுகு தேசி அதை பத்தி சொல்லியிருக்கலாம்னு தேடும், இருக்கு, அதுவும் இருக்கு. பட் in practice we must practice according to the Panchamarabu dance elements, and then because definitely it must be differ to Silappadigar. கொஞ்சம் டிஃபர் ஆகத்தான் செய்யும் அந்த நாட்டிய சாஸ்திரம். ஏன்னா அவங்க சொல்ற விதம் வந்து இப்போ சம்திங் இஸ் சிமிலர். இப்போ அவ காமிச்சா அந்த மச்ச கை மாதிரி தான் அவன் சொல்றது. இந்த கையை நீட்டி இந்த கையையும் நீட்டி அது மேல வைத்து இந்த கட்டை விரலை நீட்டி அப்படிதான் சொல்லியிருக்கு. சம்திங் இஸ் சிமிலர், சம்திங் இஸ் டிஃபர். That's why I'm telling what is what. This is the same, this is the different. From where it's got. நம்ம போயிடணும், அந்த காலத்துக்கே போயிடணும். போயிட்டு அப்போ எப்படி இருந்தது அந்த இதெல்லாம் கொண்டு வந்து வச்சுட்டு we can finalize. This is the what I am telling.
Yogita, would you like to add something to that, or to what Dr. Sarala has said?
No, I just want to share, since Saralaka spoke a lot about music. Just one aspect I would like to add in music area of Panchamarabu. There is one mentioned as Niram. Niram is actually
Varnam.
exactly as in Varnam in Nati Shastra.
Yes, Varnam.
They are the
Yes.
Gamakas. Gamakas or
Gamakas.
yes, that is what is that same name. In Tamil, Niram means color, and in Varnam in Sanskrit it's also color, but same term is used for Gamakas also.
நிறத்த மரபுனா நிறம் நிறம்
Niram.
பண்ணா.
Exactly.
Same thing.
That is what I want.
Alati means here is alapana. Alati means alapana. This is different. That Tamil is different. That's why I'm telling. So in each word, only one word, but so many meanings. At least 3 meanings. According to the circumstance, according to the situations, we can finalize this is the meaning of the word in this line. This is the thing. நம்மளா உன கற்பனை பண்ணிக்கவே முடியாது அந்த காலத்துல.
That's all.
So we have actually come to the end of our session. So if anybody would like to add anything, they can. Otherwise, I can just give the official vote of thanks. Anything, Dr. Jayashree or Aishwarya, anything you want to clarify, or can I?
I think nothing much to say, but the fact that she pointed about the interpolations, which we find even in Nati Shastra. There are so many interpolations, and also the several meanings of a particular word. Like she was picking up one word that is the same that we find even in the Nati Shastra. The word Karana is not only in Nritta Karana, but even the movement for the instruments and such things. So there's been a similarity in various aspects, including the language. So this is the awareness that we want to bring to all the youngsters. This kind of discussion will really kindle their interest to go deeper into it and see how even in Nati Shastra, the yar, that is, the yar is referred to as Veena. So that Veena was also for each jati, they were supposed to have been a particular kind of a, swara set pattern in that, in the, Tattavadyam that is there. So I think there's been a similarity, but as Yogita pointed out, it could have been the influence of either Nritta Ratnavali or any of those medieval works that you can see in Panchamarabu, because I don't know whether it really is that ancient. This is something we have to investigate and explore. That is the only thing, because from what you have presented, that is what Yogita has presented and what Sarala has, given more information regarding this aspect. I think we need to go a little more into the study, but this is exactly what we want. And thank you so much for both of you. I must thank for kindling interest in all the youngsters and also the older people to go deeper into our own Tamil work, which would have influenced our indigenous arts.
So we come to the end of the session. And of course, we have the official vote of thanks. So we begin by thanking our expert for today, Dr. Sarala. And what was particularly relevant, I think, is her motivating exhaustion to the youngsters and to all those who are listening in, that we should put ourselves in those times. That's very, very important from a historical perspective. Very often we make this mistake of looking at the past from where we are in the present. And I think that's a very, very unfair way of looking at the past. People will judge us in the same manner 100 years from now. So I think it is a very pertinent point, and I thank Dr. Sarla for pointing it out, that we should put ourselves in the shoes of those who existed then and studying it from that perspective. And her enthusiasm in studying or going to Tamil literature is very infectious. I think all of us have got charged up because of that. And so thank you so much, Sarlaka, for giving all those details, and also for telling us very frankly that this work is so large that we need to have many separate sessions on all the different aspects of the text. And since you have told it now in a public forum, we are looking for you to be the expert and do some sessions on it for us as well in the future. So thank you so much for accepting our invitation and giving some very valuable inputs to Yogita's presentation. So thank you for that. And thank you to Yogita for being the reason, in a sense, for us to get Dr. Sarla on board. And it was a very good attempt, because it is necessary for us to constantly keep looking at both the traditions, the Tamil and the Sanskrit, without sacrificing our love for either. I think it's important for everybody to realize that this is no fight. This is just coexistence. And the more and more we learn of both the traditions, I think the more and more we come to admire and love them. So thank you for that very neat presentation, and for, I'm sure, like what Dr. Jayashree said, for kindling the interest of many young researchers who are listening in. And hopefully we'll take the cue from you and start working on those aspects which you presented today. So thank you so much for that. And of course, we will fail in our duty if we do not thank our Guru, Dr. Padma Subramaniam, Paduka as we affectionately call her, for not only standing by us, but giving us the strength, the motivation, the guidance as and when we need, not just researchers, but experts also. So she knows exactly who has to be synced with whom. So thank you so much, Paduka, for being with us. And we hope time and again, and we pray that we justify the trust that you have in us, and we hope to take it forward in the same manner. From Center of Excellence, Art and Culture, we would like to thank our Secretary, Sri Abhay Shishrimal Jain, and our Principal, Dr. Padmavati, for supporting us. From Nrityodaya Academy of Performing Arts, we would like to thank Mahindra Finance and Mr. Ramesh for chipping in with their support. As far as our session today was concerned, I would like to thank Mrs. Aishwarya Harish for her MC, Ms. Shankari for the very soulful rendition, and Ms. Srividya for the technical support. So we hope to meet researchers and experts again and again in our sessions. As Mrs. Aishwarya mentioned, we request all of you to please write to us so that we can all be part of this common learning experience as Sahridayas. Thank you very much once again, everybody. Shubharatri.